My name is Rachel Maldonado. My website is rhmaldonado.com. Belief in the human spirit and desire to connect is the reason that I want to tell your story and mine. And I am with Keila Sanchez, who is a fashion designer who actually got invited to Paris Fashion Week. Oh my goodness, tell me about this.
Oh my goodness. I was screaming. I still remember getting that invitation and I'm like, is this really happening? I'm going to Paris. And I remember screaming. My husband's like, what happened? I was like, I'm going to Paris. So it was quite just an honor to be part of a show that there were about 27 designers from around the world that we showcased our collections during Paris Fashion Week. And it was just an amazing experience, just being with different people from around the world. I mean, it felt like an international fashion week. And just now I have those friendships that I can take with me, and I have some of them that, we talk all the time. So I think it's just exciting to have that to come back to.
Wow, I cannot even imagine. Paris Fashion Week, it is just incredible. And have you done anything else exciting with your work?
Well, yeah, actually, I was invited to New York, to Soho, New York, the fashion district, and there was a holiday event that I was invited to also showcase my collection there. So that was another highlight. And so it's just been really exciting being able to travel and showcase our different, accessories, which are scarves. So it's been a lot of fun.
Wow. I mean, that is fun. If you're a woman and you like fashion and you like beautiful things, that is just exciting. And how did you come about being a fashion designer?
Oh my goodness. So being a fashion designer, it was all, this took me back. It was about 6 years ago. Um, our daughter, Sila, she was born with congenital heart disease. And it was in her heart journey that she underwent 5 open heart surgeries by age 2. And I still remember I was a high school teacher at that time. And my job was terminated because I had to spend all my time in the hospital with her as she fought for her life. And I remember just saying, God, what can I do? What can I do to help my family? Because now we had medical bills. We had our own bills at home to pay. And I'm thinking, what can I do? And so I felt that God gave me the talent to sew. And I started making handmade things from home. And the first thing that I made for her was actually a car seat cover. And I remember posting it on Facebook. She had a little Pray for Sila page that a friend started. And I posted it asking people to pray because we were going to take a little trip on the train and I wanted to keep her safe. And I remember having people ask me, like, oh my goodness, I would love for you to make me one. And I'm like, okay, sure. And it just started like that. I started making car seat covers. Then I started making little scarf bibs for babies. Then my son, Hasiel, who was 3 years old at that time, is like, Mommy, what about me? And I'm like, you're not wearing a bib. So I made him a little scarf. And then my husband's like, what about me? I'm like, well, so it just started, my family wanted all the little things that I was making. And as people saw them through Facebook, they're like, oh, can I buy one from you? And this is what, God was doing. He was using my talent to make all these little handmade things to sell and then help, with my daughter's medical expenses. And it just started like that. It was just actually very, all these baby things. And so, yeah, that's how it all started.
So you got the babies and the kids and your husband, and then, anyone else?
So I remember I was at home and my friend comes over. She's like, Keila, you're making stuff for everybody. What about moms? And I remember looking at her and laughing. And I said, I am not ready for fashion. And we just laughed about it. But I sat down and I thought, wait, what about moms? I'm making stuff for everybody. And, I remember when I was launching my first collection, you were actually the first person I told that I was about to launch my first scarf collection. Do you remember?
Yes. Oh my goodness, I remember. Yes. I
That
was the first that you told you were launching your collection.
Yep, I was actually in the hospital, putting buttons in her ICU room, and we were having a conversation. And I said, Rachel, I'm about to launch my first women's scarf line. And you're like, send me one. And I'm like, okay. So
That
that's how.
sounds like me.
So yes,
Wow.
you were one of my first. Yeah, that was exciting.
Wow. So I was like your first
Paid.
customer for your women's line.
Yes, yes, it was very special.
Well,
So
I love your designs.
thank
So
you.
talented, so beautiful. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I was your first paid customer for your collection, the women's line. Wow.
Yeah,
And
very wonderful.
how is Sila doing now?
Sila, wow, Sila's 6 years old. I have actually two kids, and Hasiel is 9, Sila's 6, as I mentioned, and she's just so happy. She's definitely my inspiration. You know, our brand line is called Cozy Sila, wearable art to save a heart, and it was like, my legacy, leaving her legacy, throughout this small business that continues to grow. And I just feel that, with every piece that I design, every piece I make, I continue to share her story. And it's not just her story, it's a story of hope, love,
Yeah.
faith, what God is doing in her life, what he's doing, in our community, the families that we get to impact every day. It's just been just a true blessing. So I'm just thankful for this opportunity. Yeah.
So your fashions and your business name, it is after your daughter. She inspired it,
Mhm.
and she's doing really well right now.
She's doing great. Even though she underwent those 5 open heart surgeries and she's living with only function of half of her heart, she's just full of life, you know. It's just so exciting to see her every day, just smiling and playing and just, being a kid and thriving. And she's definitely looking forward to kindergarten this year. So that's another highlight, to
Wow.
how well she's doing.
Well, I love the name, Cozy Sila. And my last question for you is
Mhm.
what makes you feel alive?
Wow, what makes me feel alive? You know, I just feel blessed. I feel blessed that God is using this business for a bigger purpose. You know, at first, the business was all about, providing for our family, providing, the financial means to, pay for her medical bills and to help her. But now we get to impact our community. So just having, I wake up every day and I get so excited that I can, service our community, people from, all over the world, and just, share our story through art. And, it's scarves, it's face masks, whatever, people,
Right, the pandemic.
the pandemic, I mean, but just being able to, you know, use my hands and feet and just wake up every day and do what I love. I that's the purpose. I'm just excited about that. So that's what I live for. My family, my friends, my, just giving back. It's really, really exciting.
Wow. So I just love your story that
Thank
you're
you.
a small business owner, that you made it to Paris Fashion Week, and you do this for your daughter. Your business, your fashion, it has her name, Cozy Sila, and I love your story. I am so grateful that you shared it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you to Kate Wolfer for technical advice and Linroy Palmer Coleman for music.